Michael, first off, did everybody come through okay from the weekend?
Few knocks, few dead legs, so we're going to have to see how they react today. So everyone's in the building now and just getting medical, looking at medical and physical, so we'll see how they are. But we have got a few knocks and a few bruises and a few that might be touch and go, but we'll see if we can get them on the grass today and then have a look for tomorrow.
And when it comes to this block of games, including Saturdays, you're having to work it out a little bit when it comes to fitness and fatigue, because it's a big run of games.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of fitness, a bit of people recovering and having minutes. I think there's a bit where some players have had lots of minutes and high risk of injury now, but there's also the bangs and the knocks that come from being in a battle, and how they can recover in 2 days to go again is a challenge. So I think it's getting the balance of it right. And you can't go game after game after game after game without anything in a squad. So it's where it's important again to have our ones ready to go if they're called upon.
It's a different set of expectations, I guess, for Tuesday night from people outside of the football club in terms of you'll be the favourites for tomorrow. How do the players treat that game?
Yeah, I think we treat in every game in the way we treat it, which is important, and which is, I always say it, this is worth the same amount of 3 points as Saturday was, even though they're a big club that came to town and a very good team, we know that. The same amount of points is at stake here, so we have to treat it exactly the same. It's going to be a tough place to go. The atmosphere probably won't be anything like it was at the weekend, so we have to try and drive that. And then they're good with the ball. They dominate the ball a lot, so we're going to be having to chase a lot of the ball at times. But if we put ourselves and be like us, I think we can dominate them in different ways.
Yeah, I saw Rob Elliott at Gateshead earlier this year against Boston. He decided to play through the thirds, a very patient, possession-based team. Is that what he's trying to do with Crawley?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's only been in 3, so we've watched all his 3 games and we've seen the games before that. And they really dominated the ball when they came up from League 2 last year. They've had a big change of players. Obviously, a new manager coming in, so he's still obviously finding his feet. But the style is still very similar. Like I say, I think they're second for possession in the league, so they can do that. But I think we've got really ways that we can go and hurt them and take the game too. And we're away from home, so we have to respect them. But we'll definitely try and be the aggressors in the game.
And they have conceded a lot of goals as of late as well. Is that a key area you think you can exploit? Yeah,
I think it's a key area we have to exploit. I think we have to be really strong in what we do, and I think we have to get back to being really strong defensively. But at the same time, we have to go and affect them and make them defend, and hopefully we can create chances in different moments of the game. It's going to be a really tough game. There's no doubt in my mind that in this league, every game poses different challenges, and if you're not on it, you can get hurt. And against teams that do dominate the ball, if you make one mistake in your structure or the way you press or anything like that, they can open the game up. So we have to be really patient with how we defend, and then take the moments when it comes to trying to get a goal.
The league is so congested at the moment. Has that come as a surprise, just how close it is between so many teams?
Not for me. I thought that it was always going to be this. I think we've seen probably the best team come to town on Saturday that I think will be dominating this league, and I think they'll get out. And I think everybody else can beat everybody else, and I think we've started to see that where teams that are doing really well like Wycombe and Exeter, who probably people didn't expect, ourselves we've been up there, but then all of a sudden if you lose one game or one team's beating another team, and I think from all the way really, we're not really seeing a bigger gap. There's probably 2 or 3 at the bottom there's a bit of a gap, but other than that, 3 points moves you back up or 3 points moves you down. So I think every game at the minute is really tight, whichever one you play.
Just going back to Saturday, just one thing on the penalty decision. Obviously, the decision for Rico to take it just after coming on. Is that something you're going to look at going forward in terms of substitutes coming on taking penalties or not?
Yeah, I think it was. It's one of those things that Rico puts in the back of the net. No one talks about. But we have our designated penalty takers, and some are on the pitch at the time, some aren't off the pitch at the time. I think it's one of those things that maybe in hindsight, and in hindsight's a wonderful thing because it's his first touch, it's probably not the right decision. But the reality is he's got to step up, he's confident to take him. And like I say, it's one of those things, if it goes in the back of the net, people never talk about it. But we live and learn, we go again, and maybe the biggest thing in those situations is if that happens again, do you make the same decision? Maybe not, but the reality is that we didn't score it, and I think the moment changes the game, because I thought that even though they're a brilliant side, I thought their 2 6s in the middle of the park are fantastic players that control the game. They didn't hurt us massively, but I think we did enough to. At that point, we were on top and we were creating, and I was really happy with how we tried to take the game to them. we get to all. You know, I'm not saying we're going to win it or not lose it, but I think we're really, really in the game then.
Eric Ring in the league matches has come on and made such an impact in the game against Blackpool, set up a goal against Leyton Orient, obviously had a great impact again on Saturday. What does he have to do to try and get a start in a league game for you?
Keep going. He's growing all the time, and I've been really impressed with the way Eric trains. Like, Eric is a fantastic professional, very, very focused, trains hard every day. He's got huge power that people can see. So even in the gym, he's been a monster, and his attitude is fantastic. And he's just adapting to league football, in League One football in England. And what I think you're seeing slowly is how well he's adapting and how quick and for me, he's adapted quicker than I thought he would. And when, sometimes a little bit of how we play and, where his strengths are, you can see that. So when we brought him in on Saturday, he's higher up the pitch and he can be that. We definitely know he's an attacking threat. His defensive work needs a bit more work, but he's definitely moving in the right direction and looking quite exciting for the future.